Fantastic.
Hello you lovely lot, we've got a pretty jam-packed one, some of which is insulating the floor and showing you what this stuff is. Good afternoon, it's the day. We are doing some insulation, we're doing the flooring. We've got 25mm battens that we're going to be gluing down onto the floor, which I'll show you in a minute. And we've got 25mm Celotex insulation boarding. Okay, we're pretty much finished now. Got the Celotex down, got all the battens down. It's just putting it all together. So before we actually put down the floor, we treated it with this stuff. Basically spray it onto any surface rust, and then after 2 minutes, wipe it away, and then all the surface rust is gone. And this stuff is...
Right, what we're doing now is sticking on the roof battens to get the ceiling done. We've got 32mm battens, wooden battens, softwood battens. Cut them into 3 sections to go across the straddle the side of the top of the van, and we're just going to glue them up and see what happens.
That's insane, what do I? Just gluing it on, because that seems to be the quickest and best way with super strong glue, rather than doing all bolting through these ribs. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, don't want to be doing that.
Nah, we're just going to stick them on.
Sticks all.
Sticks all. We've kind of smashed out a few little things, I'll show you them in a minute. So we kind of haven't really filmed that, but I'm going to show you now, so you won't miss that. And we are just about to install the electric hookup heater. Stripped out all of that, and basically this is the hardest part of the van to insulate. So we've taken it all out, put these wooden battens on there, glued them on, and then what we're going to do is we're going to use some of the polyester kind of shredded plastic bottles, and we're going to we're going to put that in between, and then we're going to just put like a vapor barrier over the top, because it's going to be the back of a cupboard, so that doesn't really matter too much. So I'll show you all of that. Finished doing all the battens, where the roof is going to be on.
Wiring for the reversing camera.
Done the reversing camera, yeah. Come have a look at this bad boy. Oh, so the sun's in the way. Brake light and a reversing camera all in one.
And it works.
And it'll work. It's from China, but it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Hooks up to a little monitor that's going to be going where the centre mirror usually is. So that'll be good. Yes, I mean, hasn't been super productive, but it's been tricky getting some of the plastic trim off. This is the monitor. So that'll be going up there. Perfect. Got you zoomed in. So basically what we did is wired it all up through here. Obviously take out the existing brake light, attach that one. There's a few little kind of bolts that you have to take off, and then some wing nuts that you put on there, and then there's a few wires, and then we connect one of them up to the reversing lights. So when the reversing lights get power, that is when the little monitor comes on. Just where the 240 hookup. Oh, have I just broken that? What?
You could use the foam seal as a template. We're going to get it level, carefully not distorting it, because it can bend these, and then we're going to mark the hole positions from this side, drill the holes from this side, and then go around the other side, reposition that on the holes, and then mark out the inside and cut from the outside, because I'll get the saw on the outside. I can't get the saw on the inside because of this stuff.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah, perfect.
pretend.
So the video's been a little bit over the place recently. That's because we've kind of been not filming stuff and not taking photos and just kind of getting stuff done. I say that, we haven't done a lot, but I hope that makes sense. Okay, let me walk you around the van and show you what we've done. We started insulating the front bit above the cab, you know where you've got that little shelf in the Peugeot Boxer? We're basically going to insulate this because this is kind of the hardest part of the van to insulate. A lot of people find what I've been reading here, and then we've used contact adhesive, sprayed that onto the ceiling, and then applied this kind of polyester. It's like polyester shredded plastic bottle type thing. It's nice, it's cheap, it's cheerful, and it does the job. So we've got that done, and then it's just a matter of putting the vapor barrier over, which is what we're doing today. I'm going to staple gun that into the battens. Maybe went a bit overboard with the battens, but that's fine. And then we can start putting all the trim back in. And there's a little black shelf that was in here. We're going to actually keep that in because we can't be asked to make our own really. We're actually putting the bulkhead back into the van, but we're going to cut a hatchway through that bulkhead. Why? Why are we going to keep the bulkhead in? Because when you're driving along the air in a hot country, AC is a big must, and obviously if you're trying to air cool the whole van, it's going to be a nightmare. So we're going to put the bulkhead in so it keeps us nice and cool when we're driving. And I just like the idea of separating the driving area where you spend loads of hours to the living area. I just kind of like that. I know it doesn't maximise the space that we have, but I want to do it, so we're going to do it. And it's my van, so that's what we do. So a lot of people say they don't really like using this, but it's all we've got, so we're going to use it. It's like a thermo insulating bubble wrap type thing. It does the job for us. It's quite heavy, but you know what, we're going to use it. So this time lapse doesn't actually show it because you forget to film everything, but after we put the bubble wrap up, we stapled it down, and then we used some foil tape to go over any holes of the staples and any other bits. Okay, so we took the bulkhead out, put it back in now, because we cut a hole in it as a little hatchway. All the wiring is done, and now it's just time to insulate, I guess. So the insulation that we're using is 25mm Celotex on the ceiling, 50mm on some parts of the walls, I think the lower side, and then 70mm on the thickest, deepest parts of the walls. Okay, so we are getting in the Celotex now. I've insulated the bulkhead bit with some polyester. We've filled in all the gaps with the polyester stuff, and and now we're just gonna whack these 70mm boards in this middle section, and then spray foam around the outside to hold them in place, as well as using Stixel. Stixel. Hello again. Yes, we forgot to film pretty much everything past this point. Well, not everything. We've got the ceiling to come yet, but we insulated it, we vapor barried it up, but let's speedrun it to the ceiling. Hello you lovely lot, it's finally time to do the ceiling. We've put down the surface protection sheet to get that black gap effect between that we've seen from Camper Dreaming. We've got the overhead cabinet pretty much done, apart from we haven't finished it, haven't put any paint on it yet, and we haven't done the cupboard doors. But other than that, it's looking good. And we had to do this before the ceiling. Well, we didn't have to, but we just decided to, so we don't waste loads of wood up there. But plywood back into it, nice framework. What we've done is we've just made up this kind of jig type thing, so we know exactly where all the holes, we know the holes are all going to be the same area and the gap is going to be the same. I'll just show you that. Hello you lovely lot, I'm Michael and you are watching Something in Ourselves. Kate is behind the camera right now. We've got a little bit of a green tinge to it because we've got some green tarps up, but don't worry about that. We are continuing the ceiling. We've got, as you can see, we've got the lights recessed into this nice plain pine, going all the way along the length of the van. And we're also going to be getting the flange of the Max Air fan up in there and seated nicely. So yeah, let's go on with it. Okay, so the kind of work process that we've got going on here is we go through, we put a few screws in, we drill all the holes up into the battens that we placed before, we put the surface protection sheet up, before the installation even. And he's gone through, screwed, one on each thing, and then he's going to go through and he's going to sink the heads in using another drill bit, so that they sit nice and flush like all the rest.
Okay, so we're going to fit this puck light into the ceiling recess. Already cut the hole in there with a hole cutter, which is about 62mm diameter, 2 inches and a quarter. We're just going to make room for this little connector, which is a pretty snazzy thing. It's got a little push button on it, let go and it grips the wires, which is brilliant. So we've got to strip that back, cut a hole in the top, and then connect them, push it all up. Job done.
Ceiling, completed it, mate. What? I don't have a clue what you're doing. I'm going over a minute.
Is stickle. Stixel. It actually sticks all. It's amazing stuff.
Just measure just in case.
Yeah, I measure once.
You should probably measure
That's the
twice.
same, isn't it?